Hello, students, and a very warm welcome to you all. Today, we're going to tackle one of the most important chapters for your Class 12 board exams, solutions. So if you're a Class 12 CBSE student and your goal is to score full marks in chemistry, you are in the right place. Many students think the solutions chapter is tough, but let me tell you a secret. It's not difficult at all. In fact, it's a super high-scoring chapter, but only if you know the right way to approach it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Our goal today is simple. We will master every single concept from the absolute basics so you can walk into that exam hall and solve any question with complete confidence. So let's begin our journey together. I can promise you by the time we finish this session, you'll have everything you need. All the concepts, the key formulas, and the little tricks for writing perfect answers in your board exams, all right at your fingertips. Trust me, this chapter is going to give your overall score a massive boost. Okay, let's dive right in. We are going to start from ground zero with the absolute basics. Let's break down all these concentration terms in really simple language so your foundation becomes rock solid. So first up, what even is a solution? Well, it's nothing complicated. It's just a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. Now, that word homogeneous just means that the mix is completely uniform. Think about it. When you stir salt into water, you can't see the individual salt particles anymore, right? It's all one thing. Now, every solution has two parts. The solute, that's the thing you add in a smaller amount, and the solvent, which is the larger part. And here's a golden rule to remember. The solvent always determines the physical state of the solution. If the solvent is a liquid, the solution will be a liquid. Simple. All right, let's look at our very first concentration term, mole fraction. We use the Greek letter chi for this. Now, don't let the name scare you. It's a very simple idea. A fraction is just a part of a whole, right? Well, mole fraction is the exact same thing. It's the ratio of the moles of one component, your part, to the total moles of all components in the solution, the whole. So if you look at the formula, the mole fraction of component A is just the moles of A divided by the total moles of A plus B. That's it. So why is this so important for your board exams? Well, the number one reason is that mole fraction is completely independent of temperature. And you'll see this concept pop up again in Raoult's law. But the most important property, and I want you to put a star next to this in your notes, is that the sum of the mole fractions of all the components in a solution is always, and I mean always, equal to 1. This is a favorite for MCQs and numerical problems in the board exams, so remember it. Okay, on to our next big term, molality, which we show with a small m. Now, I want you to pay very close attention to this definition. Molality is the number of moles of solute present in 1 kilogram of the solvent. The two words to focus on here are solvent and kilogram. Those are absolutely crucial. The formula is right there, moles of your solute divided by the mass of your solvent in kilograms. And that brings us to a classic board exam question. What's the difference between molarity and molality? Molarity, with a capital M, uses the volume of the entire solution. Now, think about it. What happens to volume when you heat things up? It changes, right? So molarity is temperature dependent. But molality, with a small m, uses the mass of the solvent. And does mass change with temperature? No way. That's why molality is temperature independent, which makes it much better for experiments where temperatures change, like with colligative properties. This is a very important distinction. All right, now listen up, because I'm going to share some insider info. These are the most common mistakes that I see students make year after year on their answer sheets. First, for molarity, they forget to convert milliliters to liters. For molality, they forget to convert grams to kilograms. Third, and this is a big one, they use the mass of the entire solution instead of just the solvent in the molality formula. And lastly, they jump straight into calculations without writing the formula first. Always write the formula, it carries marks. Okay, enough with the theory. Let's put what we've learned into practice. Numericals can seem scary, but they're not. If you just follow a simple, step-by-step method, they become incredibly easy. So let's solve some actual NCERT examples together. Okay, here's our first question straight from your NCERT textbook. It asks us to calculate the mole fraction of ethylene glycol in a solution that is 20% by mass of it in water. Now, before you do anything, just take a moment, read the question carefully, and figure out what information you've been given. Let's break this down. Step 1. Whenever you see percent by mass, the easiest trick is to assume you have exactly 100 grams of the solution. That makes the math super simple. So the mass of ethylene glycol is 20 grams, and the mass of water is the rest, which is 80 grams. Step 2 is to calculate the molar masses. For glycol, it's 62 grams per mole, and for water, it's 18.
Now, for step 3, we find the number of moles. Remember the formula? Mass divided by molar mass. So for glycol, that's 20 divided by 62, which is 0.322 moles. And for water, it's 80 divided by 18, which is 4.444 moles. And finally, step 4, we just plug these values into our mole fraction formula. So we get 0.322 divided by the total moles, which gives us our final answer, 0.068. See? Simple and systematic.
Fantastic. Let's try another one, this time on molality. This is another guaranteed topic for your exams. The question is, calculate the molality of 2.5 grams of ethanoic acid in 75 grams of benzene. First things first, identify your solutes and your solvent. Here, ethanoic acid is the solute and benzene is the solvent. All right, let's follow the steps. Step 1, calculate the molar mass of ethanoic acid, which comes out to 60 grams per mole. Step 2, find the moles of ethanoic acid by dividing its mass by its molar mass. So, 2.5 divided by 60 gives us 0.0417 moles. Now, step 3, and this is the step where most mistakes happen, so pay attention. We must convert the mass of the solvent, benzene, from grams to kilograms. So 75 grams becomes 0.075 kilograms. Don't forget this. And finally, step 4 is easy. We just apply the molality formula, moles of solute divided by mass of solvent in kilograms. And that gives us our final answer, 0.556 mole per kilogram. Fantastic work, everyone. You've learned the concepts and you've solved the numericals. Now, to make sure all this information gets locked into your brain, let's do a quick, high-energy, rapid-fire revision round. Are you ready? Let's go. Molarity, capital M, it's moles of solute over volume of solution in liters. And the key thing to remember, it is temperature dependent. Next up, molality, small m, that's moles of solute over mass of the solvent in kilograms. And its key point, it's temperature independent. And finally, mole fraction. Chi, moles of one component divided by the total moles. And don't you forget that magic property, the sum of all mole fractions is always equal to 1. And as we close, I want you to remember this. The secret to getting ahead is just getting started. Every single one of you has the capability to score amazing marks in your board exams. The effort you put in today is what will build your success tomorrow. So please, keep believing in yourselves. So what's next for you? Your job isn't done just yet. After this, your next step is to open your NCERT textbook and revise these exact same concepts. The NCERT is your Bible for the board exams. You need to read it thoroughly. Think of this session as your guide to mastering that book. If you found this session helpful, please do like it and share it with your friends who might also benefit from it. And of course, subscribe for more explainers on other important chapters. This was brought to you by Guinan Classes.